Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Wendy Chen. Thank you for joining us. Coming up in today's show, China Tzu Chi volunteers continue to bring love and warmth to needy residents in Fujian and Hubei. As this year marks the 20th anniversary of Tzu Chi, youth volunteers from South Africa returned to Hualien to take part in the annual training seminar. And we travel to Penghu to meet incense stick maker Chen Rongyi, who makes natural insects repellents the traditional way. First up, in China, Tzu Chi volunteers continue to spread their love to residents in remote areas. In Fujian, local volunteers joined winter aid distributions to show their gratitude for all that Tzu Chi has done for them. While in Hubei, besides handing out aid supplies, doctors were on hand to conduct a health check for senior and disabled residents.
Here in Hubei province, it's barely 5 a.m. and Tzu Chi volunteers are already on their way to the winter distribution at Guanyinghu Elementary School in Xiaowu Township. As the rising sun greets the world, local residents start to show up. Meanwhile, volunteers have prepared hot buns and porridge as breakfast for the recipients. As many of the recipients are elderly or disabled, Tzu Chi volunteers also ask doctors to provide health checkups for everyone. Whether it's a 30-kilo bag of rice or winter blankets, volunteers hand over the items respectfully, giving the 200 recipients in Hubei a reason to smile for the winter. Meanwhile, in Fujian province, Tzu Chi volunteers also held a winter aid distribution in Jinjiang City. Li Zexiang's wife frequently volunteers in Tzu Chi activities. However, he was never this helpful before. Only after Li's wife fell ill and visited Taiwan for surgery did he change his mind.
Seeing how nice the Tzu Chi family treated my family in Taiwan changed my mind. Upon returning to China, I began volunteering as the organization has given my wife a second chance at life.
Another helpful volunteer is Xu Yongrong, whose contagious smile brightens the day. It's hard to imagine that a year ago, Xu struggled with her life.
In the past, my world was dark. I couldn't see the light because my husband had passed away, and I had to take care of my handicapped daughter on my own. I was having a really hard time.
Xu works at home to better take care of her daughter. Being so isolated from the world, Tzu Chi volunteers' weekly visits and the installation of DaAi TV introduced the mother-daughter pair to the Buddhist NGO.
My daughter encouraged me. She wanted me to go out and help others who are worse off than her. My daughter was always the positive one. Along with the Tzu Chi volunteers' support, I had the strength to get out of the house.
Whether the volunteers are in Hubei or Fujian province, the winter aid distribution continue to warm local residents' hearts for the cold winter days ahead.
Moving to Thailand, Kanchanaburi province shares a common border with Myanmar, and as a result, this region sees many Burmese labor workers. As life is difficult for many, Bangkok Tzu Chi volunteers arrived in the area with blankets, second-hand clothing and food supplies for some 1,000 residents.
Departing from Bangkok, Thailand Tzu Chi volunteers travel 5 hours by car before arriving in Thong Phampum in Kanchanaburi. Welcoming them are the innocent and pure smiles of children.
I'm really happy to be here to better understand their living conditions. Not only this, but to understand what they really need as well. Like, it's actually very hot here during the day, but gets cold by night.
Here at the border junction of Myanmar and Western Thailand, mountains surround the area, and in winter, the temperature can drop to below 10 degrees Celsius.
If they don't have blankets or quilts, they probably need to burn wood to keep warm.
Understanding the hardships, Tzu Chi volunteers bring with them blankets, second-hand clothing, rice and other food supplies for the Burmese and people of other ethnic groups.
I feel the people here have less opportunities as majority of them are Burmese. Compared with the Thais, fewer opportunities are available to the Burmese.
I will cherish the supplies you have given us. I don't know how to repay you, but I thank you sincerely.
From young to old, each has a relief pack in their hands. This winter, these residents will no longer be afraid of the cold.
In Northern California of the United States, Tzu Chi volunteers from the Stockton Liaison Office regularly visit the homeless people each month to bring them hot meals. At this month's visit, volunteers not only prepared the usual breakfast meal, but also handed relief packs that included hats, gloves, and scarves to help everyone get through the cold winter. Despite the cold weather and drizzling rain, the homeless people line up neatly to receive a serving of hot meal. Tzu Chi volunteers are working together to prepare hot meals for those without shelter, and their support means a great deal for single parent Sylvia Perez.
I heard the story of the bamboo, and I felt like I had to give because they were doing so much for us here. They come every Sunday, and that's pretty much why, because I believe if you give what you get. That's what I believe. So I respect everyone and our religion, everyone. Yeah.
Luther Robbins, a veteran who fought in the Korean War, was deeply moved upon finding out that Tzu Chi volunteers came from a country far away.
They have been friendly and kind to us. I enjoy so much come back to us for the duties of America from a country that's far, far away. Thank you. Thank you.
I personally hope to pass on the love to everyone and that they can pay it forward.
I came to know this through a friend. We've both been doing it about 6 months, and we love doing it.
After a delicious hot meal, volunteers also prepared gift packs, which included a hat, gloves, and scarf to ensure everyone is able to get through the cold winter. Staying in Northern California of the United States, Tzu Chi volunteers in San Jose visited senior residents in a local nursing home. With some volunteers bringing their children to put on performances, residents were all smiles.
A Santa's greeting lights up this nursing home in San Jose, California, and the following performances by Tzu Chi volunteers also catch the seniors' eye.
Usually we're very busy, and my girls also have their activities on weekends. I brought them here so they can see how others live. They were pretty scared when they first came, but after years they have shown some improvement. This year they volunteered to put on a performance for the seniors. I really think it's a good way to educate them.
Raymond is a volunteer who has played Santa for the past 3 years. This year, he also brought other children to hand out gifts and blessings.
The old folks were they were really happy to see a Santa that giving out gifts, and it really felt good being there, seeing the joy in their face. So after that year, I decided to come back.
Because it's Christmas and the senior residents here are all alone, so I bought a cake to celebrate with them.
Handing out Christmas cakes, the volunteers hope the elderly here can enjoy a Merry Christmas and feel that they are not alone for this Christmas season.
Also celebrating Christmas are Tzu Chi volunteers in both Canada and Malaysia. In Canada, volunteers dressed up as Santa to hand out lollies to students at the Vancouver Tzu Chi Academy, while in Malaysia, Kuala Lumpur volunteers brought the festive spirits to refugees at a free clinic.
At this Tzu Chi free clinic in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, the holiday spirit is all around. Volunteers dress up as Santa Claus as they pass out candies and toys to children and refugees who have come to the free clinic for medical attention.
We want to give these refugees a place of comfort, not just a place of medical assistance. During this holiday season, we want to leave them with happy memories.
Thinking about her situation, a refugee from Myanmar is moved to tears.
Thanks to everyone at Tzu Chi Free Clinics for the past year. I hope the clinic continues to safeguard the health of residents here.
No matter if we are from the same country or of the same religion, since we are all here together, then we are one family. They didn't think that we could take a Christian holiday and incorporate it into our Buddhist free clinic. Everyone felt grateful for everything.
Crossing borders and religion, Tzu Chi volunteers in Vancouver, Canada are also celebrating the Christmas holiday with a bit of a twist. The children here have to recite a Jingsi aphorism before getting their holiday treats. As these phrases are often spoken in the children's daily lives, this impromptu test presents no problems.
Have the heart to give, not to show off.
Some Tzu Chings work on presents for the elderly were also surprised at the fun game. Of course, it was not something they had difficulty with.
To enlist a smile from others, first you must smile.
Be willing to give and happily accept whatever comes.
Just like exercising, the more you do it, the easier it will become. Passing on these words of wisdom helps instill this holiday season with important lessons.
This year marks the 20th anniversary of the Tzu Chi Collegiate Youth Association, and to celebrate, Tzu Chings from all around the globe have returned to their spiritual homeland in Hualien to take part in the annual training seminar. Among the participants are 5 Tzu Chings from South Africa, all of whom were Tzu Chi scholarship recipients in the past.
These are the Tzu Chi scholarship recipients who grew up under the care and support of South Africa's Tzu Chi volunteers. This year, they finally have the opportunity to return to their spiritual home and join Tzu Chings from 14 other countries at the Global Tzu Ching Camp.
I never thought I would be something like this today, and I never thought I would be here today. And today I believe that when you do a good things to the community or to the people, the good more things, they come to you or they follow today to you. That's why I'm here today.
With the blink of an eye, it has almost been 10 years, and seeing each grow into a fine and exceptional person with a good career, the volunteers' hearts are filled with gratitude. Among them is Tzu Ching alumna Tandeka, who has chosen to become a social worker, making her mission her lifetime career.
I think social worker will be the best career for me, just because I just want to pay back that love and that help that I've been receiving from Tzu Chi Foundation. That's why I choose to be a social worker.
If we give them a hand and help them overcome their obstacles, I think life for them will be different.
Now Tandeka devotes herself to helping members of her community, ensuring they receive support from the government, and by combining resources with Tzu Chi, she has extended help to more needy people than ever before.
Following the devastation of Hurricane Sandy on the east coast of the United States, helping residents recover and rebuild were hundreds of Tzu Chi volunteers as well as Tzu Chings. At the recent annual Tzu Ching conference in Taiwan, several Tzu Chings shared their experiences of what it was like to live through the hurricane or help those in need during that difficult time.
In Taiwan, at this year's annual Tzu Qing conference, participants share with each other their experiences in service over the past year. Several Tzu Qings who were part of the Hurricane Sandy relief efforts also share their stories.
New York, how was that possible? New York is such a vibrant city. Times Square and Gerson Beach, they all look like places that God had given up on.
Tzu Qing Su Zhang's family lives on New York's Long Island. Studying on the West Coast, he assumed that the East Coast would quickly pick up the pieces after Sandy. So when watching DaAi TV, he was surprised to see his father helping out with the devastation.
And I saw him, and he did his sharing on the camera, and he started to break down and cry. So I saw my daddy cry on the internet. So that is certainly not easy for me, considering I thought everything was fine.
Originally, Su wanted to come home for the Thanksgiving holidays to help his father, but his father told him to save that money and donate it instead. Remaining in California, Su worked the phones for Sandy victims at U.S. Tzu Chi headquarters, a job he soon learned to respect.
These are real people, and I am actually talking to them. At that point, I realized that I was making an impact, even though I was across the country. And so this reminded me that we can do good wherever we are.
Regardless if they are on the West or the East Coast, Tzu Qings and Tzu Chi volunteers like Su Zhang and his father are doing their best to help those in need, showing once again that love has no boundaries.
At the end of this year, Tzu Chi volunteers in Lesotho visited 36 care recipients with food supplies. This time they included some additional items in hopes that these impoverished families will have a joyous new year.
Despite not being able to see, Grandma Malira, who is in her 90s, knows well that Tzu Chi volunteers have come to visit her. Hearing the familiar chanting of blessings, she claps to the rhythm too. Every December, Tzu Chi volunteers in Lesotho always organize year-end distributions for its care recipients. Apart from providing food supplies and daily necessities, they also bring juice, candy, and cookies for the destitute families to celebrate a joyful new year.
Happy Christmas!
Yeah, Happy Christmas!
These care recipients' homes are spread across Matuken Township, and for places that volunteers cannot reach by car, they carry the aid supplies on their shoulders as they hike into the mountains. Whether it is the solitary seniors or the disabled, volunteers treat everyone as their own family. The Lesotho Tzu Chi volunteers spent 2 days visiting their 36 care recipients, bring good wishes and blessings for each family as they bid farewell to the past and embrace a brand new year.
Tzu Chi volunteers Cai Tiansen and Lin Chaoqing were former drug users who came to a turning point in life after meeting Tzu Chi. Today, both volunteers are now promoting anti-drug campaign in schools around Taiwan. Speaking from their experience, the two volunteers hope to use their life stories to keep children on the right path in life.
There are drug dealers outside of the school, and they are trying to hand out drugs for the students to try. That's a very scary thing.
Tzu Chi volunteers Cai Tiansen and Lin Chaoqing, former drug users, travel to schools to advocate no drug use in students. However, they are met by some surprises.
The youngest of whom we saw taking drugs were 9 and 11, and when we asked them why they took drugs, they just said that their brothers and sisters told them it's all right to do it.
For Lin, who has quit for 8 years now, and Cai for 14, both still suffer from side effects of their past addiction. Every few minutes, the two would get goosebumps all over, and when rolling their sleeves up, one can barely find their blood vessels.
Once you start using drugs, you are screwed for life. What goes down with it is your dignity, your self-esteem, and your loved ones.
The current law requires amphetamine users only to pay a fine and does not require them to go to rehab. However, Cai thinks, regardless of the category of drugs, they're all harmful to our body.
Regardless of what kind of drugs a person is taking, there is always rehab they should go to.
Cai Tiansen and Lin Caoqing know from personal experience the importance of preventing our future generations from falling into the trap of drugs. With a tropical climate, many who travel to Taiwan during the summer holidays probably have all experienced mosquito bites. And for those who live in Taiwan, they're also constantly finding ways to keep away the insects. In today's feature report on Taiwan's unique industries, we meet Chen Rongyi, who is known for making incense sticks that are used as insect repellents. Slicing the incense sticks into smaller pieces before stamping them with the store's trademark is Chen Rongyi, who makes Penghu's famous insect repellent.
The way we used to keep away the mosquitoes was quite environmentally friendly. It was also very humane and healthy.
These incense sticks are made of a combination of Penghu's blanket flower, wormwood and hibiscus.
The aromatic smell of wormwood is used as an insect repellent. Hibiscus is kind of wormwood, which you can find in Chinese medicine stores, and it's used as a detox.
The reason why some are longer and some are shorter is because the long ones last an hour and the shorter ones only 10 minutes.
The difference in size represents the length of burning time, and the pointed front makes it easier to light the incense sticks. The incense sticks need to be dried under the sun before placing them in the storefronts for sale.
The unique feature of our product is that we are not trying to kill the mosquitoes. Since they don't like the smell, they will run away.
Chen named his store as Kan's Passing Incense, not only because his community is known for its emphasis on Chinese medicine, but the pronunciation of passing in Mandarin also means boat, which is a tool of trade for Penghu's residents.
The Damu boat was a tool of trade in the early days, and what's so special about this boat is that the paddle is fitted at the back instead of the sides. In Penghu, it has a special meaning of passing on traditions.
Over the years, the store has attracted many tourists from abroad. Chen has insisted on keeping the traditional culture alive in Penghu and is not afraid that it will be lost in the future generations.
If it is a good place, people will visit. I often say we don't need to pass it down. There's no point in worrying too much. Nature will take its course.
With faith and determination, Penghu's Kan incense store is a shining example of Taiwan's traditional culture. We go back to China at the end of today's program. Tzu Chi volunteers continue to carry out winter aid distributions in Fujian. And after holding a series of events to help nearly 8,000 families in Jiangzhou, volunteers also went on home visitations to better understand the living condition of their care recipients. Before we leave you with these images, we would just like to wish you all a Happy New Year. Goodbye.